Ciao e benvenuto su urock.tv.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Com'è nata la vostra band?
That was a long, long time ago. We were school friends. I met with our guitar player and our bass player when I was maybe 8 years old, and so we had been playing in many, many bands before him. And then, my parents were telling me that you should get a job, and I was like, no, I don't want to. And that's when we kind of like started to work on him a bit more professionally, and that was early 90s, maybe 91 or 92. Started doing some demos, and then by I think 96 we got a record deal, and after that it's just been going upwards and onwards. So it's been a long travel, with the whole thing. So a lot of good memories and a couple of bad as well.
Come definiresti il vostro stile?
You call it very kind of sentimental, hard-hitting rock music. It's like rock music with a big heart and big set of balls.
I read the words on torn down walls, reminding me how much I love you. I weep for the dream in a grave, the one that made us.
I always loved the visual aspect of rock and roll. I always loved like Led Zeppelin. They had the 4 symbols for one for each band member. I loved the White Zombie artwork, everything Rob Zombie had done, and I always just thought those symbols are pretty and beautiful and wonderful, and they can explain so many things. A simple thing can be so can have so many stories and so much depth into it. That I was just working on a logo for him and working on a set of symbols, and then back in like late 90s. I drew it down, and for me it's just again representative of the what I just said, the balls and the heart. They kind of like, there's the heart, the sentimental side, and then the kind of like the half of a pentagram, which is considered the kind of like the evil heavy metal thing. So that's that basically. It's very simple, but then it kind of like after we started using it, it started to live a life of its own, and a lot of people have a lot of different meanings. And they read into a lot of different messages than we do, which is great, because let it live on.
Quali sono le tue fonti di ispirazione?
I think everything is an inspiration, more or less. Everything you see on TV, or all the music you hear, and everything you read. It's kind of hard to say that there would be 1 or 2 or 3. I grew up with a lot of rock bands. That's the reason why I started playing music. Like, I loved Iron Maiden and Kiss and all that stuff. So I was born in '76, so I bought my first albums in the '80s. So those were my favorite bands at that time, and those were the bands that really got me into thinking that I want to play music. But since then, it's been a gazillion different things. For our band, we all love Black Sabbath, we all love Type O Negative, and also me and Miguel, the bass player, were huge fans of H.P. Lovecraft, the horror writer, and then Stephen King, and a lot of writers as well. So it's there's a lot of things that glue us together as a band.
Chi sono i vostri fan?
I think music is a personal thing, so we seem to draw the attention of lots of different kinds of people. It's not just metal fans or rock and roll fans or goth fans or whatever. It seems to be all sorts of people, and that changes every year and in every country as well. So it's never the same, and that actually makes it really interesting for us too, because it doesn't feel repetitious. There's always something new to look forward to. We're pretty crazy ourselves, so I think that there's a lot of crazies around. I'm hoping that they will be here tonight. So again, it keeps on changing. In some countries, in Italy, for example, people are really passionate. I wouldn't call that crazy, but they're like, they're really going for it. Yeah, we've been lucky for some reason to have passionate fans all over. So it's not, I wouldn't say that one place is crazier or better. Tears on Tape is the 8th album, so we've been together for a long time, and obviously as a band we have to figure out a way, a new angle to find. You know, when writing music, you have to find a new way of interpreting whatever it is you do. Otherwise, it becomes boring. So basically, what we just did was that we ended going back to our rehearsal place, cranked the volume of the guitar amps super up, opened up beers, and started playing rock and roll. That's what we did, and that's how it begun. And yet, at the same time, I was working on the kind of like the what I call the skeletons of the songs, the kind of like the essence of the song. I was working on that stuff on an acoustic guitar back home. So I had like basic melodies and structures, and then we kind of raped them at the rehearsal place. We turned them into something a bit more ugly. And I think that's basically what we've been doing with the band ever since we started out. And the difference may be that it's been more heavy than a lot of the stuff we've done in the past, and also yet at the same time really, you know, sentimental. So we try to kind of like have the heavy and the sentimental come together in every song, as opposed to having a sentimental song and then having a hard rocking song. So that was one of the ideas, but also being in the band, we can't really see the forest for the trees. You know, we're too close to the whole thing.
We're standing still in time. The blood on our hands is the wine. We offer a sacrifice. Come on and show me love.
Com'è stato lavorare con Ben Marghera?
Bam. Well, the thing with Bam was we played a gig in London, in England, and then there was after the gig there was somebody knocking on the door, and it turned out to be Bam, and that was before Jackass had been released. So he wasn't like a super big superstar all around, and he just wanted to say hi to us and told us that he loves the band. And we're like, cool, you know, and good stuff. And I used to be a skateboarder myself back in the day when I was young, so we had a lot of things in common. And then a few months after that, he came to do a skateboarding tour in Finland, and he didn't have any of his Finnish friends around. So I ended up being his friend, like showing him around restaurants and bars in Helsinki, and we became really good friends. And then at the same time, Jackass became huge, and then he started doing his own show, Ville Valo, and that's when we started hanging out. He asked us whether it's okay if he does a video for us, and we did Buried Alive I Love. Shot that in Los Angeles, and it turned out to be great. We had a great time while doing it, and then that's how our working relationship started. And he did several videos, and he was like the 6th member of the band, so he was hanging out.
Come on